Afternoon all, it's Gaz Bee for Carlton Town TV here in the MSR box down Carlton Town. As always, an interview. I'm with young Michael here, the chairman, the bloke who always gives us 3 pints after the game. So it wouldn't be fair without having the pints on show. So there you go, Michael. This is we've raised the money between the club to get yourself a pint. There's a bit gone missing, so there we go.
Much, Gaz.
It's not a problem, mate. Anyway, 3-1 today. The cup quality.
Yeah, FA Trophy's a really important competition to us. Basically, we got knocked out in the FA Cup in the first round, as you well know. That was a tough away day. That was tough to take. First game under Tommy and Mark, and obviously the FA Trophy, getting a home tie was important. Although our away record was very good, but yeah, obviously it's important because I think anybody will tell you at this level, the only money that you can win, you can't win anything in the League Cup. In the league, it's very limited unless you win the Fair Play Award. There's a little bit of money there, but the one avenue other than the FA Cup of winning a bit of money for the club is the FA Trophy. So it's an important game for the club on that front today. It's no secret that money needs spending down here, the car park and various other things.
Which we can show later on, actually. Yeah, to be fair, but like Mick just said, raising money is the main thing. Cup runs. It was a bit iffy at the we took the lead, but then they got the goal back and was on the edge of our season.
Yeah, definitely. Oliver Clark scored 2 storming headers today. I mean, at the end of the day, that was pivotal. The fact that Clark got those 2 goals and they were bloody good headers. Aaron could have added to that. That was probably a turning point in the game. Aaron was through on goal. It was 3. That would have been 3. They went straight up to the end and scored. And to be fair, late on in the game when it went to 2-1, not that they had many chances, but yeah, nerves set in. Jack had his little mad moment where he, just before that, where I think where they hit the post, I think I don't quite know what happened there. I'll have to. I don't think our cameraman's here today, so I might not see that playing back. But other than that, I mean, Jack marshalled things. Bawley was outstanding again at the back. I thought Maddo had a really, really good game again today. It was a difficult choice between him and Clarkie for man of the match, from my point of view. I mean, the way Maddo puts penalties away, he deserves a lot of credit. He was under pressure there because it was 2-1 and we needed that. Momoki did really well, came on and one thing he has got is magic feet. He's got fantastic feet, and when he starts running at people in the box, at the end of the day, there's always a chance that he's going to get brought down. And we needed that penalty because at the time it was getting a little bit nervy, Gaz. So I was pleased, obviously, to win. Pleased to keep the run going as much as anything else. And I don't know the score in the next round. The teams that we're up against. So I do believe we've got home fixtures. So I'll obviously go and have a look at that when we finish this interview. But nice to have a pint with you, Gaz. Did you know you're affectionately known as Comedy Bee now?
I don't know that.
Comedy Bee. So your interviews are becoming legendary. So I thought I'd actually get a few words in there because I was frightened that you'd just take over the interview and then I might just not get a word in.
No, Mick, as always, you're the chairman, you're the one that supplies the points for these man of the matches, so of course.
What was your take on the game, Gaz?
Well,
I'd like to know. I really would like to know.
like I said to you before, though, after that, when that goal went in, it was iffy. It could have gone either way. So that penalty did literally kill off the game. But like I've said all season, the fighting spirit of this team, second to none. So, we move on. We're top of the league. Forest were top of the league, so apparently Champagne Breakfast have missed it.
Problem you got with the Champagne Breakfast when you did the interview with Mark the other day, he's a Derby County fan.
Yeah, I forgot that. I didn't forget he's a Derby fan, but hey, fair enough.
No, it's been a good double, obviously, with me being a Forest fan as well. They won well last night, so absolutely. But biggest plus for me, one of the biggest pluses for me this season, to me, I mentioned him earlier, performances of Martin Ball at the back. I mean, him and Toby have got a real good understanding there, and I thought Bawley again today. Difficult one for man of the match today. You could have given it to several people, but I think in the end I went for Clarkie because of his 2 goals. But I could have given it to Bawley. I could have given it to Maddo. At the end of the day, and credit to the management team here for what they've done. I mean, nobody expected us to be in the position we're in. And nobody's under any illusions. But I said this in an interview I did a few weeks ago, and at the back of your mind you think, you might lose a couple, and then people will say so I don't get carried away. Tommy and Tommy knows me obviously better than Mark, but the one thing that anybody will tell me down here, I don't get too excited when we go on a winning run. At the same time, I don't get too down when we're struggling. I try and keep a level head. I've always done that, and I think
you trust the management. And the way it's gone. So we've got an invader here, wanting to. Young Phil over
breathe
there.
in, lads, if you won't mind.
Lovely.
So,
I'm sorry, Gaz.
There's not a bother for you. You go in, pal. You carry on. I would say, mate, you're on camera. Carlton Town
Don't
TV.
smile. Show me teeth.
All that, pal. You've only got a couple missing. Anyway, you said about Bawley. He's not a part of the furniture down here. He's like a fine wine. He's a redhead, and he matures with age. You know what I mean? He is quality. It's not. He's never been away. He's like the centre of the team. He's the core of the team, and everything works around him. Like, I know you're praising me, but it's like he's never been away.
I think it was one of them. I mean, I must admit, I mean, I'm friends with the guy as well. I've known him for years, and obviously he's a legend down here. But one of the things that struck me, even Mark will admit, when Tommy said he was bringing Bawley back, Mark had his doubts. I think, can he still do it? You know, and I wrongly thought he was in his mid-30s, and he's sort of 31, 32. But no, I'm prepared to hold my hands up and say that, I mean, he's playing as well now as he's played for years. I mean, he was your dad, Tim Bee, saw him play in a cup final for, I think it was Clifton All Whites last season, and Tim said to me, Bawley's still got it, Mick. He said, you know, and I took that on board, and then when Tommy came back, and the daft thing is, I think at the time Bawley was actually thinking, I think I've said this before, but Bawley was actually thinking of getting into management and bringing his career to sort of the close, and possibly, or certainly would have been applying for the job here, but obviously
He's on the coaching staff, isn't he?
well, yeah, he's involved with the coaching, but I was at the meeting with Tommy when he came back, and he made it very clear that he believed that he's still got something to offer on the pitch, and credit to Tommy because he totally believed in him, and you know, and you know, as I say, the proof's in the pudding. At the end of the day, when we were 2-1 there, and you want somebody to head the ball away, or get on the end, or get a foot in. The good thing as well, he reads the game so well. Definitely the right position for him now, playing at the back. Rather than midfield where you've got to charge about, but you saw today, I think, from our midfield how much, you know, the work rate from the likes of Clarkey, Danny Elliott, Niall, you know, and all the right across the state, as it were, the middle, and Aaron up front. If he could have just added a goal again, he would have been in the frame for man of the match. But obviously, you know, I think that, as I say, I think it's. I don't know where the supporters one's gone. I think the match balls have gone for Madder. I can't argue with that, even though I voted for Clarkey today.
I voted for Clark and all, but that, like I said, I mean, all in all, the team this season, it's just. I mean, it's the first time I've spoke to you on camera about this, but the team this season is totally different.
You've actually got 8 or 9 players that were still here from last season, which might surprise people. Somebody asked me in the bar earlier on, how many are actually here from last season? And I was trying to do a count up, and I believe it is actually 9. So if you say we've got pretty much a squad of 18, that's half. So yes, there's been new introductions, but the lads do seem to be getting better out of the players.
That's what I'm saying. The players that we've got are still the same from last season. But they're totally different.
It makes a difference when you're winning football matches at the end of the day. When we were losing towards the end of last season, you could see the confidence drained out of players. You know, it was visible. Certainly in the last game where I was away at the final game of the season, when I think we went down by about 5, it was, you could see that the players were playing on empty there. Certainly in terms of confidence, and that's something I know with Tommy's personality that he would deal with straight away. Having worked with him before, the guy's infectious, and he seems to have a good foil with Mark. That they seem to fall well off each other. Obviously, you know, Mark's been in the driving seat today, and but they do seem to work well as a team. I don't quite want to call them Clough and Taylor, but yeah. Good team.
You never know. So, come on, Mick. Obviously, I've spoken to you privately, but where do you expect? What would your target be for the end of the season?
Our target initially was to get into the top half of the table because the last 4 or 5 years we've been in the relegation mix. Les's last season, Wayne then had 4 years, and it's been tough. You know, we had that fantastic, as I've said before, that fantastic result at Meadow Lane.
Won the couple of cups.
And it took us to 2 cup finals. But in the league, we sort of tailed off. The last season before last, I think it was mitigating circumstances because of the fixture backlog. But last season, towards the end, like I said, it wasn't the best, and it was time for a change. But at the end of the day, no, I didn't expect us to be where we are. I knew Mark and Tommy would totally. I've worked with Tommy for a lot of years before, so I knew what I was getting. But in terms of expectation, look, you know, Tommy had said to me at the start of the season the aim was the playoffs. And I sort of looked at him and I'm thinking, well, you know what, if you get us in the top half of the table, that'll be a result. So at the end of the day, we want to be challenging. There's no doubt about that, and challenging is to be competing for the playoffs in the mix. And I've always said, you know, if we can have a cup run, I think it's going to be more difficult in the Senior Cup this year with Forest and County entering young side, so that's going to be tougher. And if we can have a little run in this as well, you know, and we can perhaps, if we win 2 or 3 games in this, you can then perhaps get the local radio station involved and interested, as we did a few years ago when we beat Manchester, FC United of Manchester in the Cup, and we had McCulloch on the radio, we had the goalkeeper on the radio, and we got some coverage. When you actually make progress in a competition, it raises the profile of the club. And this, and I know, and I say it all the time, but the gate today again, it's 92. Yeah, it's not massive, but it's, you know, everybody's paid. Not everybody's paid. You've had a few passes, but County's dropped all the fees today. If County hadn't, I know we've 1 or 2's gone to County today, but it's things generally moving in the right direction, Gaz.
So would you take what? So you're looking right now? Would you say playoffs?
Yeah, that absolutely. I mean, I don't. That wasn't in my head at the start of the season. In my head was stabilising, getting us into a position where we were competitive again.
Well, this isn't a fluke what we've done. I mean,
we're doing it. We're doing it on an ongoing basis, and we should have won against Spalding the other night. By the way, the chances were missed. I saw you. You know, we laughed about the comedy B bit, but you were right in what you said. That both what you and Mark said was absolutely spot on. Mark was gutted because we'd drawn the game.
Chance,
yeah. So we're creating chances, and if you're creating chances, that's half the battle. Bigger worry if you're not creating chances. So yeah, look, I think we'll have a better idea of where we are sort of towards Christmas. I think that you know, when the pitches change and the weather gets cold and all that type of thing, and you know, I think we'll have a better idea then. But look, I'm not going to take anything away from the lads and the management. This has been an outstanding start to the season. You know, but I'm not going to get into the mode of making predictions at this stage. But let's just say that it's a happy club to be at the moment.
There's one prediction we would like to know, because obviously it's been a big talking point of my interviews. Obviously, you know, the players come up, they're not too happy about it. You can tell the camera when they get a free fine. But if we do make the playoffs and we do get promoted, live on camera here now, Michael, are them players all going to get a 3 points off yourself?
Oh, come on, I bought a 3 point for the players of the week. When we beat, I can't remember the game, the last Newcastle game, I bought everybody a drink. You might have just gone home, you might have missed it. And you missed the champagne breakfast as well.
I'm good to the back. But no, we're going to wrap it up now, lads, because this is a record for me. It's only 3 minutes, Captain Kodak and all that. But great start to the season, speaking to the big man himself, Mick. Great start to the season, raising the lads.
Yeah, cheers.
Thank you very much.
Best, mate.
Nice one.